Hey guys, so I didn't even realize when I checked to see what day this was that it's the last day. I thought it was day 29. Didn't realize that today is day 30. Wow. So 30 days. Didn't think it was going to happen. Didn't think I was going to make it. 30 days and promise fulfilled, right? So it was getting late here, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put for my 29th day so that I can get to the 30th day, and then I'm like, boom, here we are. So 30 days, it was a promise I made my wife on day one, and the whole purpose of this thing was for me to be able to not only stick with something for 30 days, but to have to just start, to just begin. And I think that's the biggest thing, is I think most of us are really afraid of just starting, right? Because we're going to do something. I can tell you, this is how I felt, is that when I looked around and I saw all these great speakers and all these great teachers, and they look so polished and so refined, and I'm like, I don't know any of this, right? And so I was embarrassed, because I was like, if I put something out and somebody sees these videos, what if they go, wow, this guy's really like unprofessional and will never come back? Because in today's, I guess, competitive environment, like for people's attention, obviously they're going to take something that maybe looks more well-refined. So I wasn't doing anything. And so my wife made me to kind of take that promise to go, you know what, stop trying to be perfect and just begin. And I think that is probably the best advice for any of us, is if you're trying to learn a new skill, if you're trying to, and I said this in one of my previous videos, it's like you just have to begin. I can tell you that in doing this and writing my blog, I've learned some things, and some of the technical things I had to learn how to set up a Wix website in BASIC, just basic to get a web address and stuff like that, or domain name. And I know a little bit more about video, a little bit more audio. As you can see, I have a microphone now. But to come up with stuff for 30 days, I wrote some things down. So first, when you make a promise to somebody, or any promise to yourself, be it the gym or studying, right, or reading or bettering yourself, some days it's not easy to keep. Like there was a couple nights where I was exhausted. I probably should have gotten to it earlier. I was kind of at a loss of things to say, and so it's very tempting. Like right now, it's 10:30 at night, to just go, I'll hit it tomorrow. But what I love is YouTube marks these, and as far as I've not learned how to do, somebody said, oh, just shoot all 30 days at once and just have them drip or something. I don't know how to do that. I don't even know if YouTube allows it. So as far as I was concerned, if I didn't post, it wasn't going to match. So I had to post every single day. So that's the first thing I would tell you, is that sometimes it's hard to keep, but you got to keep it anyway, right? Encouragement is the key. So whether you're like, just a few people like left comments on my videos, and just those few felt great, and that made me think, if those people do it for me, if you have people that are out in your life that are trying something new, right? So if they're like starting a new artistic endeavor, or they're trying to go back to school, or they're just trying to do something cool with their life, encourage them. Even if it's a small thing, I think when you first start out, you're just hoping that people are noticing. You're hoping that, I could sit here and talk to myself all day, but the whole reason why you put it on YouTube or anywhere else is that you're hoping that something you say helps someone else, or builds something, or does something. And so just to have that one person to encourage you, there's a lot of energy behind that. So I encourage you to do that to someone else. If you see that they're doing that, give them a good word, because it'll uplift their spirits. Structured versus not structured. So one of the things that I noticed is a lot of the stuff was off the top of my head for the day. Like I've observe something, and then just kind of talk about it. And there's some power in that authenticity of just free form. But I think also, that's where you see a lot of like heavy editing in videos, because there's a lot of extra just fluff in there. And so, you cut it down for that. And I think if it's more structured and more planned, you've got that kind of set up before time, before or ahead of time. And so you can present it in a better way. So I've learned that as much as I love talking about the things I do, and there'll still be some off-the-cuff stuff, but for the most part, I think if I'm going to go forward, I'm going to structure it a little bit as to what we're talking about, and go back to some of my teaching days. The old tell them what you're going to tell them, and tell them what you told them. It's very basic, but it works for most people when they're following something. Audio and camera, I picked up this microphone, went to a podcasting seminar, podcasting, what do you call those? Like a big podcasting thing up in Orlando, and learned a little bit basic about audio. This camera I watched, this is an HD 1080 Logitech, and I saw this watched some guy's tutorial video, and he used these, and he said it was a really good camera. So, compelling content. I learned folks won't tune in unless it's compelling. And I'm still trying to figure out what compelling is. There's stupid compelling, and we know that when we watch videos of people doing dumb things and we're like totally on board with it and we think it's hilarious. There's compelling like Dr. Pimple Popper, where I can't watch it, but my wife loves it. But when you think about it, it's a problem, somebody working on that problem, and then a solution to that problem, or the reveal, right? And there's energy and emotion behind all that. But it's compelling because you want to see it. So that's something I think I'm going to really try to think on going forward, because I want folks that are watching these things to get something out of it. And then I went from 6 subscribers to 18. Now, the reason why I'm excited about that is I went out and talked to people, which was hard for me, and said, hey, would you... I'm a talker and a communicator, but when I ask people to do stuff for me, that's very hard. And so when I went out and I said, hey, I got this YouTube video, would you go on? It's amazing to see how many people, not just them, just watch, but nobody subscribes. And I'm like, just click the button, because it's, again, a form of encouragement. It feels great to just see even one number go up. So to go up from 6 to 18 tells me that I was out there talking to people, and either those people were talking to people, and I think I had a couple of folks that got added on to mine that I didn't talk to. So that means it reached somebody outside of my friends. And then lastly, this just gave me more confidence in doing this whole thing. Each time that I stepped out and talked to somebody, that raised my confidence a little bit more. Each video I shot, it's just, you got to get in the game. You got to get in the game and play. So now going forward, so we're now at 30 days. Going forward, my wife and I are talking about it. Now, you've only seen me from about like here up, right? So I've got kind of like vet bod. And what I mean by that is I'm a veteran. I'm beat up pretty good. I've talked a little bit about my back issues and some other things. I'm 6'1", about 200 and on a good day, 280 pounds. I'm a pretty big guy. And some of that is not good bigness, right? So I've picked up some weight in my stomach, and a lot of my stuff hurts, my joints, my back, and I'm getting older, and that just doesn't fly, right? There's other things going on. And so one of the things my wife and I have kind of talked about, and I really have to consider, is doing a physical transformation, which means that on day one, I'm going to probably do 100 days of shooting, and on day one would be just talking about my history a little bit, so you guys can understand my background, how I approach fitness and diet, and what I know and what I don't know. Because what I see in a lot of these transformation videos is they don't give all the information, right? They kind of talk around it, or they're like, yeah, they followed some eating plan, because they don't want to prescribe, and I'm not going to prescribe, but I've got too much in my head. Too many books read, too much research that it's analysis by paralysis. So, but I think that it might be the next 100 days and it won't be tomorrow. I'll probably take about 4 or 5 days, like another week, to really sit down and prep it correctly, and then give the day one video and work through it. Which means you guys will get to see me full gorilla. That's one of the nervous parts, is whenever you do a physical transformation, you got to show what you actually look like. And to put that out in front of a lot of people, even though you're talking to a camera, if this goes out, you're talking to a lot of people. So you're putting yourself out there. So that's something I'm going to consider. I found that this kind of kept me accountable for 30 days. And if people follow along and they're looking for it, I really want to go through it, because it's not easy, right? You're asking people to change the way they eat. You're asking people to change the way they train. They're going to be sore. They're going to be hurt. Sometimes mentally they don't want to be there. And so I might do that just to kind of share those experiences. And if somebody gets by it, I got inspired by a friend of mine to kind of do this, and I want to pass that on. So that's what I think the next 30 days next 100 days are going to be. So again, long video today because it's the end, but thank you for those that did subscribe. Thank you for coming along. It's not over. And I really appreciate you guys sticking with me and sticking to the end, and we'll see what comes next. So thanks very much. Please leave comments. Please subscribe. Hit that bell, I guess their notification bell, so if I post something new, it pops up. And leave a comment of encouragement, leave an idea, leave any questions you have. I check them. I get excited to check them and answer them. So, but again, thanks very much, and thanks for being along the journey.